I welcome Mr. JohnRose, the comms man from the Caribbean Tourism Organization, to come up on stage. There he is. JohnRose, please. Be very, very warm and give him a bit of attention, please. Johnson,
thank you very much.
Easy, Johnson, go for it.
Oh, thanks very much. It's a pleasure seeing you again. This always works, doesn't it? Now, somehow I feel that, you'd rather have dinner than having me up here, but guess what? You've got me. Now, going back about 500 or so before BC, when the Greeks decided that they were going to have the 7 wonders of the world, since then, writers, scholars, people like our master of ceremonies have been trying to come up with the 8th wonder of the world. And somehow tonight I feel we've got our 8th wonder of the world in the Phoenix newspaper. It's all right, you can applaud, that's okay. Because this is a celebration of a story that is quite fascinating. It's a story of a woman who lost her grandmother at about the age of 5. She grew up with her granny and was in bed when her granny got a stroke and had to experience this. It's a celebration of the achievement of someone whose own mom felt, your only future's got to be in a factory. Now, I can't imagine Marcia working in a factory. What would she do? So it's an achievement of someone who's knocked down hurdles, broke down barriers, and tore down walls to be where we are today. So tonight, when we celebrate the 8th anniversary of the Phoenix newspaper, we are celebrating indeed the 8th wonder of the world, because you must wonder, how could you achieve all of this with a background like this? I mean, it brings tears to your eyes, doesn't it? From whence you came to up here. But it's tears of not the sadness of the past, but the joys and celebrations of the present and the future. Because the Phoenix newspaper has just begun 8 years ago when it relaunched, and Marcia said it goes back about 30 plus years. But it relaunched and rose again 8 years ago as something spectacular, something great, something grand, something that has become a force. And part of the reason it has is the fact that it's engaged everyone. And I believe a lot of that has to do with the fact that the person behind it came from the Caribbean region from which I come. I realized that nothing stops us, nothing holds us back. Adversity we deal with all of the time and we conquer. But it also looked at bringing everyone together. And when we saw tonight the celebration of community, of a culmination and combination of cultures. But that's what we are in the Caribbean, isn't it? Because the Caribbean Tourism Organization for which I work, and over there at table 14 is our head of the UK office, Carol Hay, yeah, and the team. We speak Spanish, French, Dutch, English, and a myriad other languages. So we understand diversity, and it is this diversity that Marcia and the Phoenix bring to this community tonight. And it's the diversity of Birmingham, because you've got, you talk of Jamaica, well, Trench Town, been there. And all of the other people from everywhere else. It's a celebration of black and white and Chinese and Indians and everyone who forms this community. It's very much like the Caribbean, isn't it? And so this is what the Caribbean is about. This is what Phoenix is about. This is what the Caribbean Tourism Organization is about. You know, I was coming in here after it was announced and thinking, just imagining myself coming in and dancing to the music of Wild Out and Mellow by Mark. Now, the dancing you would not have enjoyed, Wild Out and Mellow probably. But the Wild Out and Mellow is a story of the Phoenix newspaper in the Bahamas. I won't be able to tell you everything that Mark and Daniel and the team did in the Bahamas. No, prohibited from telling you all of this. But what it was that the Phoenix newspaper, for which we've worked hard to get to every Caribbean event that we do so they can help tell the Caribbean story. Mark came to the Bahamas, fascinated by it, wrote a song, did a video, and he went wild out and mellow. Yeah, feel free. I mean, you know, don't be shy. And it's that cooperation, that togetherness that helps us to tell the story, not just of the Caribbean, not just of Birmingham, but the world. So when we say that we found our eighth wonder of the world in the Phoenix newspaper, we mean it. And ladies and gentlemen, look out. I won't use the cause because all I can say is this is just one more milestone on that journey to perfection. You know, the Greek had something with 7. That's why they chose the 7 wonders of the world. Because to them, in addition to being plenty, 7 was perfection. And tonight, we're achieving perfection with that combination of Phoenix, Birmingham, and the Caribbean. Look out, there's a whole lot more perfection to come. Thank you very much and good night.